Have you ever wondered what would happen if the most powerful forces of nature combined their might in a single moment? Imagine a day so devastating it etched itself into the memory of our planet, forever altering the course of countless lives. Such a day did come to pass on December 26, 2004, when a force so mighty was unleashed it shook the world to its core. That day, the Indian Ocean, known for its serene beauty and tranquil beaches, bore witness to an event of cataclysmic proportions. A tsunami of unprecedented scale was born, its ripples reaching the furthest corners of the globe. The magnitude of this undersea monster was such that it dwarfed even the mightiest of man's creations. From Thailand to Indonesia, from Sri Lanka to the Maldives, this colossal wave swept across 14 countries, leaving in its wake a trail of destruction. The sheer scale of the devastation was staggering. Over 200,000 souls were lost to the merciless ocean, while countless others were left homeless, their lives uprooted in the blink of an eye. Towns and cities were reduced to rubble, entire communities wiped off the map. The bustling markets, the picturesque beaches, the vibrant streets, all were silenced in an instant. The world stared in disbelief as the images of the destruction emerged, a sobering reminder of the raw power of nature. Yet, amidst the wreckage and despair, there were tales of resilience, of humanity banding together to rise from the ashes. The world united in its grief, extending a helping hand to those affected, offering solace in the face of unimaginable loss. A day of such monumental catastrophe is not easily forgotten. It has left an indelible mark on our collective consciousness, a reminder of the force that nature can wield and the fragility of our existence in the face of such might. This is a story of a day when the earth roared, the sea rose, and lives changed forever. December 26, 2004, began as a day like any other in the Indian Ocean region. The sun rose as it always did, casting warm golden hues across the azure expanse of the ocean. Fishermen set out for their daily catch, their boats dotting the horizon. Tourists, both local and international, reveled in the beauty of the tropical paradise, their laughter and joy carried by the gentle sea breeze. Children played along the sandy beaches, their innocent mirth unaware of what was to come. Vendors called out their wares, the aroma of local delicacies wafting through the air. The weather was perfect, not too hot, not too cold, just the right kind of tropical. The hustle and bustle of the region went on, life as usual in its regular rhythm. The day wore on, a picture of tranquility and normalcy. Little did anyone know the earth beneath was about to unleash a catastrophe. At 0:58 UTC, the Earth's crust ruptured with an intensity beyond imagination. This was no ordinary tremor. This was an undersea earthquake that would go down in history as one of the most powerful ever recorded, a staggering magnitude of 9.1 on the Richter scale. It occurred off the coast of the northernmost part of the Indonesian island of Sumatra. Let's delve a little deeper into what happened. Earthquakes are caused by the movement of tectonic plates, the giant slabs of rock that make up the Earth's surface. These plates are continually moving, albeit very slowly. But when they collide or slide past each other, they can cause earthquakes. In this case, the Indo-Australian plate was being subducted or pushed beneath the Eurasian plate. This subduction had been happening for millions of years, but on that fateful day, the pressure became too much. The Earth's crust ruptured, causing the seafloor above to spring upwards. This sudden vertical displacement of the seafloor is what triggered the tsunami. The upward movement of the ocean floor displaced an enormous volume of water, disturbing the equilibrium of the sea. This disturbance, in turn, generated waves that began to travel across the ocean, gaining momentum and size as they moved. It's important to understand that these weren't typical waves, they were tsunami waves capable of crossing entire oceans at high speed and causing unprecedented destruction when they made landfall. In the immediate aftermath of the earthquake, there were few signs of the catastrophe to come. The earthquake itself, while incredibly powerful, was deep beneath the ocean's surface, and its impact was largely absorbed by the vast expanse of the sea. But beneath the surface, the ocean was in turmoil, and the energy unleashed by the earthquake was racing towards the shorelines of numerous countries. Within minutes, the ocean floor's violent upheaval set in motion a series of events with devastating consequences. These waves of destruction were now on their way, fueled by the immense power of the undersea earthquake, ready to unleash their fury on the unsuspecting coastal regions. But that, dear listeners, is a story for the next scene. As the seismic waves spread across the ocean, they gave birth to a monster wave. The energy that was released by the earthquake didn't just shake the earth, it also displaced a colossal amount of seawater. This displacement triggered the formation of a series of waves, collectively known as a tsunami. Now picture this. A tsunami isn't just one giant wave, but rather a series of waves, or wave train, if you will. When the seafloor was jolted by the earthquake, it's like dropping a stone into a still pond. The ripples caused by the stone are the tsunami waves, and they spread out in all directions, racing across the ocean. Now, these aren't your typical beach waves. Tsunami waves in the open ocean are often undetectable due to their length. Imagine a wave as long as 100 miles, but only a few feet high in the open ocean. This is why ships in the deep ocean often do not even notice a tsunami passing beneath them. The speed of these waves is another remarkable aspect. Propelled by the force of the earthquake, the waves charged across the Indian Ocean at speeds reaching 500 miles per hour. That's nearly as fast as a commercial jet. Now you might wonder, how can these waves travel so fast? Well, the speed of tsunami waves depends on the depth of the water. The deeper the water, the faster the waves. In the vast, deep expanse of the Indian Ocean, these waves were like sprinters on a racetrack, moving at phenomenal speeds. Yet, despite their speed, these waves were essentially invisible in the open ocean. This is because, unlike wind-generated waves, tsunami waves involve the movement of the entire water column from the seafloor to the ocean surface. This makes them virtually undetectable in the open ocean, silently carrying their destructive power towards the shore. As the waves approached the shallow waters near the coastline, their speed decreased, but their height increased dramatically. This is due to the wave's energy being compressed into a smaller volume of water. What was once a wave just a few feet high in the open ocean can tower to a height of a multi-story building when it hits the shore. This monstrous wave, born from the seismic activity, was now ready to unleash its fury on the land. It had traversed the length of the ocean, undetected and unstoppable. The vast expanse of water, which was a source of life and livelihood for many, was about to show its terrifying power. The sea, once a source of livelihood and joy, was now a harbinger of destruction. The tsunami was unleashed, ready to reshape the landscape and the lives of those in its path. Little did the people know that the serene ocean they knew was about to turn into a monster that would leave an indelible mark on their lives. In less than 2 hours, the killer waves began their assault on the coastlines. These waves, unseen and unheard, surged towards the shores with a ferocious appetite for destruction. The impact of the tsunami was not confined to one country or a single coastline. It stretched across borders, wreaking havoc in its wake. In Thailand, the waves crashed onto the popular tourist destination of Phuket, transforming a vibrant holiday paradise into a scene of utter devastation. Buildings crumbled under the force of the waves, lives were lost, and the bustling streets were flooded with water and debris. In Indonesia, the closest country to the earthquake's epicenter, the devastation was immense. The province of Aceh bore the brunt of the tsunami's force, with entire towns and villages wiped off the map. The waves showed no mercy, washing away everything in their path. It was as if an eraser had been taken to the landscape, leaving behind a blank canvas of destruction. The tsunami also reached the shores of Sri Lanka, a country already grappling with civil unrest. The waves added to the chaos, sweeping away homes, schools, and livelihoods. The beautiful coastal train, known as the Queen of the Sea, was derailed, resulting in one of the worst rail disasters in history. And then there was India. The southernmost state of Tamil Nadu was hit hard, with fishing villages along the coast decimated. The waves came without warning, leaving the people with little time to escape. The sea, once a source of livelihood for these communities, had turned into a deadly enemy. But why was the impact so severe? The answer lies in the sheer power of the earthquake that triggered the tsunami. The undersea quake was one of the strongest ever recorded, with a magnitude of 9.1. The energy released was equivalent to 23,000 Hiroshima-type atomic bombs. Additionally, the speed of the tsunami waves played a crucial role. These waves can travel at high speeds, reaching up to 500 miles per hour in deep water. By the time they reach the shore, their speed may have decreased, but their destructive power had not. The severity of the impact was also due to a lack of preparedness. There was no effective early warning system in place in the Indian Ocean, unlike in the Pacific. This meant that people had very little time to react, let alone evacuate, once the waves started to hit the coastlines. And so the tsunami left a path of destruction in its wake. It claimed the lives of nearly 250,000 people, making it one of the deadliest natural disasters in history. It affected millions more, leaving them homeless, jobless, and traumatized. The tsunami left in its wake a landscape of devastation and despair, a world forever altered. Its scars remain, a somber reminder of the day the sea turned against the land, forever changing the lives of those in its path. When the waters receded, they revealed a horrifying spectacle of destruction. In the immediate aftermath of the tsunami, the devastation was beyond comprehension. Towns and villages that once thrived were now flattened, reduced to mere rubble. The human toll was staggering, with hundreds of thousands of lives lost in a matter of minutes. Families were torn apart, communities shattered, and the very fabric of society disrupted. But the impact of the tsunami extended beyond the immediate human loss. The economic toll was immense. Infrastructure, housing, and businesses were swept away in an instant, leaving behind a landscape of economic ruin. The tourism industry, a vital lifeline for many of these coastal communities, was decimated. The environmental damage was just as severe. The tsunami wreaked havoc on coastal ecosystems, with salt water intruding into freshwater systems, causing lasting damage. Natural habitats were destroyed, affecting countless species of flora and fauna. Yet amidst the devastation, there were glimmers of hope. The response from the international community was swift and overwhelming. Aid poured in from around the world, from governments, non-governmental organizations, and individuals alike. The world watched in horror as the scale of the disaster unfolded, but they also opened their hearts and wallets to help. Emergency crews worked tirelessly, trudging through the rubble and debris to search for survivors. Medical teams provided critical care to the injured, while relief workers distributed food, water, and other essentials to those displaced by the disaster. The rebuilding process was slow and fraught with challenges. But with each brick laid, each home rebuilt, each business reopened, these communities showed their resilience and determination to rise again from the ashes. In the face of such a colossal tragedy, the world came together in an unprecedented show of solidarity. The 2004 tsunami in Thailand was a stark reminder of the destructive power of nature, but it also highlighted the indomitable spirit of humanity and our capacity for empathy and altruism in the face of adversity. In the face of such colossal tragedy, the world came together in an unprecedented show of solidarity. The 2004 tsunami was a tragic reminder of the raw power of nature. It was a moment in time that underscored our vulnerability, while at the same time highlighting our resilience. The lessons we learned from that disastrous event are invaluable, and it is these lessons that we will delve into now. The first key lesson we gleaned is the importance of early warning systems. Prior to the tsunami, the Indian Ocean region lacked a comprehensive system to alert of impending tsunamis. The absence of such a mechanism cost us dearly, with countless lives lost that might have been saved with a timely warning. So, in the aftermath of the calamity, nations around the Indian Ocean banded together to establish an early warning system. Today, this system is a cornerstone in preventing similar tragedies, offering invaluable minutes for people to reach safety. The second lesson revolves around disaster preparedness. The tsunami demonstrated that preparedness isn't merely about having the right infrastructure in place, but also about educating communities on how to respond when disaster strikes. From practicing evacuation drills to identifying safe zones, preparedness has since become a critical aspect of disaster management, saving countless lives when calamities strike. Lastly, we learned the importance of international cooperation in the face of such overwhelming disasters. The tsunami was a disaster of an unprecedented scale that required a global response. Nations around the world came together, offering aid and expertise, showcasing the power of unity in the face of adversity. This spirit of international cooperation continues to be a beacon of hope, reminding us that we are not alone in our struggles. As we remember the 2004 tsunami, let us not forget the lessons it taught us, for they may save lives in the future. Each lesson learned is a step towards a safer, more prepared world. We owe it to those who perished, to those who survived, and to future generations to continue learning and adapting to ensure that we are better prepared when nature unleashes its formidable power again. The 2004 tsunami was a disaster of epic proportions, one that forever marked the lives of millions. We've journeyed through its formation, devastation, and aftermath, understanding its profound impact. In honoring those who perished, we commit to learning from the past, preparing for the future, and ensuring such a tragedy never repeats itself.